Hi everyone, it's Leilani. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have a bit of a longer video for you guys because we are going to go ahead and wrap up this year's week in the life. So we're going to be working on days Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you haven't already seen my first video, I uploaded that one a few days ago where we worked on Tuesday through Thursday. I already did Monday off camera, but you kind of get little peeks into Monday as well. And actually, I will also be posting a flip through of the album where you can see everything in a little more detail next week as well. So what I did this year, I kind of wanted to do a really low-key, fun and easy version of Week in the Life. I wanted to go easy on myself. I'm already working on a lot of other projects with Patreon and with Project Life and all that kind of good stuff. So I didn't want to bite off more than I could chew. I just wanted to be able to document with the community and have a good time creating a project. So what I decided to do is I used a older Heidi Swapp Storyline Chapters album that I had made a couple layouts in, but I really wasn't happy with anything. It didn't really have a purpose. So I tore out all of the pages and only left enough pages for just Week in the Life to go in here. I basically disassembled the album, added a few little things into the binding, like I did add a couple of the 2x2 page protectors from Citrus Twist, and also I added in a couple little tags, but for the most part I decided to just add in all of my extras each week as I go, so you'll see that as we start working on it. Then, of course, I also had a bit of a formula, at least somewhat. So what my idea was, I didn't want to have to take a ton of photos. So I'm the type of person that I am the picture taker of the group. I was thinking about this, like whenever I'm with family or friends, a lot of the times I'm one of the ones that is saying, oh, we need to take a picture. We need to take a picture. But as far as everyday life photos, even sometimes for Project Life, I'm struggling to have enough photos for that every single week. And so definitely for Week in the Life, I did not want to stress myself out with having to take just bukus of photos. And also I didn't want to have to do things like set the self timer if I didn't feel like it. I just already knew I was not going to want to do all of that this week. So I just wanted to keep it low key. So with that said, what I decided to do is I only had to take 10 photos a day, which I feel like was pretty reasonable, even though towards the end of the week, I did start to struggle even to get 10 photos every day. But I wanted 10 because this here is my basic formula for every day. So I have one large photo over on the left side of the page, and then on the right side I have a grouping of 9 additional photos, and they're all printed off as 2x2 squares. So that just kept it super easy for me because I didn't have to worry about how amazing each photo was going to look. I knew that the majority of all of the pictures were just going to be printed off as small squares, and it just made me feel more comfortable to get this project completed as soon as possible, because y'all know the clock is ticking on these projects for me. So today I'm filming this on Tuesday, and Week in the Life was just over as the community on Sunday. So I'm already done with it just a couple days later. And if you're still working on your Week in the Life years later, that's perfectly fine. We all work differently, and I'm definitely not saying that there's a right or a wrong, but for me, this is just how I work, and this is what I feel comfortable doing. So I like to get my projects kind of just churned out so that I complete them. I just know how I am, and if I don't complete them in kind of a timely manner, I am not going to really want to go back to that project. I'm probably just going to say, forget it and never pick it up again. So this is what works for me. So at this point, I'm keeping up with the same type of embellishments for each day as well, just to keep it easy. So after I put those 9 photos down on the page, I'm using a Felicity Jane small stamp set to stamp out the day of the week. So this was Friday. I'm adding in a tiny word at the bottom along with the actual date stamp, and then a couple puffies. So I'm picking a puffy sticker or a chipboard sticker from Pink Fresh for every day. And then I'm also using a Feed Your Craft puffy that has like the day of the week letter on it. And then just adding a tiny word sticker to the bottom of the 9 photos. Then on the left side, on the large photo, I'm just using one of my circle punches and I'm punching out a circle, and then I'm using this old Allie Edwards December Daily stamp set to add in whatever day. I'm just counting them 1 through 7 for the week, cutting that out, popping it on, and then adding a couple other embellishments as well. So this was Friday, and I did get out of the house on Friday again because every other week I clean my client's house with my friend and boss, Lauren. So that first picture is just on basically my street. Just of the road. So I thought that I would take a picture there since there was no one else out on the road, and it was super easy to just snap a photo really quickly. And I knew that that was probably going to be my large photo for the week. I really like the way that that looks. And then over with the 9, I just have some kind of random stuff. I do have a picture of me cleaning my client's house. I also have a picture of some scrappy supplies because whenever I got home, I worked on a video. I have a couple pictures from my Patreon Cozy Mystery Book Club because we had our meeting that night. So I do have a selfie of me with the book, some notes that I took to help me in the meeting, and then the Zoom. Then, of course, just a few other random things from the day, one of our doggies, some Taco Bell. I always award myself for cleaning that house with Taco Bell afterwards and bring it home for me and Will every other Friday. So I definitely had to snap a photo of that. So once again, I totally spaced on the fact that I needed a place for my journaling. So this was really easy to pop the photo up and just add this tag underneath the photo. But of course, it would be a better plan to have the tag already cut out beforehand and add it to its space before you ever put the photo down, just so you don't have to lift your photo up and potentially crease it or mess it up. But it all worked out fine. So basically, I just used one of the tags from the Citrus Twist large tags that you can buy. They are like thick cardstock, or like they're not chipboard, but they're really thick. So I didn't want them to bulk up my album too much. So I just basically used them as a template and then cut out my own. So I would have the cute pattern paper. And then I just folded a little bit of the end and used my bone folder to get a really good nice crease, and then just tucked that right under my photo. So then you kind of have that additional tag, and it looks like it's almost in the binding of the album, even though it's just tucked right under the photo. So then I added my journaling. Once again, I just typed that up on the computer and printed it right off and added it onto the back of the tag. And there you go. I'm adding a few small embellishments. These are just all a lot of older Pink Fresh embellishments that I have saved from mini collections, and I just have them kind of all thrown in my drawer. I love to use them for Project Life, so I figured they would also work out really well for Week in the Life. So there you go. So now we are moving on to Saturday. So I already had in my mind that I thought kind of a cool selfie that I could take for Saturday would be in the rearview mirror or the side view mirror of the car. So whenever me and my mom get out on Saturdays, typically she's the driver. And so while we were driving, we were kind of stuck in a little bit of traffic right here. So I just went ahead and snapped a little selfie, turned it black and white, and decided that would look nice for my large photo. Then you'll see that I already have a bit of a tag sticking out. It's like the other side of the tag, the lower half of the tag. And so that tag is actually on another day. It might be on Tuesday or someday, but it really is stuck in the binding of the album. So that was one of the only tags that I originally kind of kept in the binding when I was deconstructing the album at the very beginning. But I didn't love that it didn't have that top of the tag. So what I decided to do is I'm still going to use it, but I'm just adding some adhesive, and I do only add the adhesive here at first just on the sides because I thought maybe I would use it as a little pocket on the back, but I don't end up doing that, but that's fine. I just cover up the front, and then I'm going to add on my journaling. I just added on a little bit different than the other ones so that you can still see some of that pink from the original piece of the tag that was already there. So hopefully that makes sense, but I think you got it with the visual here. And then I just add my journaling on, and that part is good to go. So just like with, I think, the traditional Week in the Life albums, doing a project like this, I think having some sort of a formula put in place is really nice. I don't always do that in my albums, but it really does help to keep things just organized and keep that flow going easily throughout the week, and just kind of let you know when you sit down to do the project, you already kind of know what you're going to do. And a project like this does take a little bit of prep because, of course, what I tried to do is throughout the week, just in my notes app on my phone, go ahead and type out some journaling. Whenever I had a minute in the morning, maybe I would type out the journaling about the day before, something like that. And then I would put it on my computer. I would have to go ahead and print it out, but it might have taken me a couple times because I wanted to make sure that it would fit on the tag in the correct way that I wanted it to. And then, of course, with all of the photos, I edited all of them and then had to get them on the computer, print them off the right size. So it takes a little bit of prep work. So I did a lot of that behind the scenes. So by the time I actually went to work on the album, I am always thankful for that formula so I can just start sticking it down and getting it done, and I'm not having to really be that creative on exactly like what each layout's going to look like and all of that kind of stuff. So here, once again, we have our 9 photos. So on Saturday, me and my mom typically always go to Target. Now, I already had Monday completed in this album, but you might have noticed we also went to Target on Monday, and that was a fluke. That was because the previous week we didn't get to go on Saturday because we went antiquing. So this particular week of Week in the Life, we actually went to Target twice, which is kind of funny. But the only photo that I have to represent Target is the lower left photo there in my little collage. But we also went out and got our favorite takeout. So I have a couple pictures of that. We got Dunkin' in the morning on the way to Target, so I have a photo of that. Then just a few random pictures around the house, of the kitchen, of our fridge. Our fridge is filled with old Instax photos. So we kind of have an older fridge, and a long time ago, several years ago, I just got a big roll of magnet, like a big magnetic roll, and then you can just cut the pieces off any size you want. So I just made a ton of old Polaroids. There's probably 100 pictures on there. It's completely covered, all of the sides that you can see, and just made them all into magnets. So it's really cool because the fridge is still fine. They're just magnets, but it looks like it's kind of almost wallpapered or something. So I thought that I would take a photo of that. Also, everyone that attended my Zoom for the book club received some fun little freebies, so I went ahead and sent those out Saturday morning. So that's what all of those envelopes are there at the bottom. And of course, I was munching out on the takeout there. So lots of fun little pictures from Saturday. And then of course we did the same thing, added the stamped title of Saturday, added the actual date stamp at the bottom, and now I am putting on the circle punch on the other page and then adding in the 6, cut that out, slap it on with a couple other embellishments, and then this page will also be done. So very happy with how quickly this is all coming together. Now, I did edit this down a lot. I would say This all probably took me 2 hours. It wasn't that quick, but I have been trying this week also to get a lot of books completed. So that's both with my eyeballs and audiobooks, graphic novels, all kinds of stuff, trying to kind of make that push there for the end of the month. So I listened to a couple hours of my audiobook. So I was really happy just crafting, listening to that, and getting this project done. So makes me super happy. So here we're going to add the tiny word along with the Feed Your Craft actual puffy sticker that says Saturday. So added those on, and then I'm adding one little star to each of these little punch out numbers. Sorry, wow. So adding that on, and then that's it for this one. So yay. Then we will move on to Sunday, and that is the very last day. So I'll tell you a little secret about Sunday. I really did not take very many pictures. I absolutely failed on Sunday. So these pictures are a mix of Sunday and Monday, but basically, who would know? Don't tell anyone. It'll be our little secret. But it's okay if you do kind of mess up sometimes on these projects. If you want to snap a few pictures outside of the time frame, no one's going to know. No one's going to be mad at you. So I basically just snapped a few other pictures on Monday and said the project is done. So on Sunday, it was a rainy day. Typically Will get out on Sunday. That's one of his days off. But since it was raining, he ended up staying at home. So we were kind of just having a super lazy day. And then our power ended up going out. So we were kind of at the mercy of that for maybe an hour and a half or so. And so our day just got kind of thrown around. So then on Monday, which is also Will's day off, so it was kind of the same kind of vibe of the day. I just snapped a few other additional photos to finish it off. So here I did remember to add in my tag. So you'll see I just cut it out. Then I used the bone folder and kind of just made a nice crease. Then you'll see I added my adhesive, and I'm going ahead and sticking that down now before I add in my pattern paper. So then it just tucked right behind there, and it looks almost like it's just coming out of the album, but it's really just tucked behind that piece of paper. So I love that a lot. Then you will notice that this page also has the 2x2 squares from Citrus Twist. So whenever I was putting the album together, I actually just used some regular Scotch tape and taped together the side of two of the pocket pages where the holes are normally punched for the album, and then I just slipped them right into the spine and went ahead and added them into the album. So on Monday and on Sunday, I have these really cool 2x2 pockets. Now I already just used my 2x2 punch that I have, and throughout the week, whenever I would find something that I wanted to go into the pocket, I would go ahead and punch it out because I didn't want to lose the stuff. Some of it was basically trash, like pieces of pamphlets that I got or pieces of just like things that we were using. So I'll kind of go into more detail about all of that whenever I do the flip through next week. But I love adding real life ephemera, and a lot of it was really cute. So I had fun doing that. And also for the larger photo over there, even though you can't really see it right now, it was really cute. One morning I woke up, and I'll admit, I keep the house kind of cold at night. I do not like to be hot when I'm sleeping. And whenever I woke up, the windows were all kind of fogged up from the cold overnight. And there was like a message written in the window from the night before from Will. So he had written, "I love you," on one of our doors. And I just thought it was really cute because of course now it's gone, but it was like a little secret message that I was able to see. So I really loved that. So I had to snap a picture. I turned it black and white because you could kind of see it better. So I loved that I had that documented. That was kind of a special little thing. And then over here, doing the same thing. So the pictures are just real basic pictures around the house. So I have a picture of Will in his kind of art closet with all of his supplies in there. A picture of our messy bed because we spent a lot of the day kind of chilling. Picture of me editing a video, eating some yogurt. I have a picture of both of the dogs. A couple pictures in the craft room, and of a book that I was reading, and also me and some of my friends and Will have a Wordle chat. So every day we do the Wordle together and send it to each other. And actually this month there's been some money involved, so we're betting on it. So it's been kind of a funny chat this month, and lots of trash talk. So I screenshotted that and added that in as well. Then you'll see that I stamped my title, added my stars. Y'all know the drill, just getting that all completed. And this is the very last day. So it feels so good to have this finished. Normally, I don't lose my kind of mojo for projects like this so quickly, but I think just having to take so many photos a day was like kind of getting to me and was just becoming harder than I really thought that it would. So I was really happy to be done, and it feels amazing that it's all actually in the album and completed, and I don't really have to think about it anymore. So that makes me super happy. So here I once again am grabbing a few of those kind of layered heart pieces from Vicki Boutin, and I add a couple onto a couple little spots. So I thought that this page, since there's so much sky here, it would look nice with one of these little hearts. They all have a foam piece on the back, so I just took that off and just added regular adhesive so that it wouldn't be too bulky in the album. So here, of course, adding my journaling on as I've been doing. So going to do that, add a couple embellishments there. And then you will see, I think I lost a little bit of footage, forgot to turn my camera back on at one point, but I did already add the circle punch with the 7, the number 7 for this day over on the left side, large photo. So that part is done. So this is the last little bit, but I am going to do one other little piece in the album here you'll see as we keep going. So I love that real life ephemera. Let me know if y'all like to document things like that. Definitely for projects like December Daily for sure, and also October Daily, those types of projects. I love real life ephemera. So this one I felt like I was able to find some really fun stuff because a lot of it had to do with the mail. So I had ordered some fun pieces, so I was able to use little bits from that. I also found a free magazine at Target, like in the clothing section. They had just like a free Target magazine that you could get, and it even had little stickers inside. So I used those. And I did use a couple little like pieces of packaging as well. So I just always think that that's really fun to see what you were into or what mail that you received during that week and all of that. I just love real life ephemera, and I think the 2x2 squares are like the perfect place to house things like that. So the last thing that I'm going to do today is I wanted to do something here on this front page. So originally I didn't know what I was going to do. I already have on the outside of the album, you'll see that here in a little bit, I used that same circle punch, and I used my regular just Dymo label maker, and I put Week in the Life 2022 on the outside of the album. So I didn't need to put Week in the Life again on the inside of the album. So I'd been trying to think of what I wanted to do. So originally I wasn't going to do like a reason why page or whatever, like I think maybe Allie does. I know that that is very common for December Daily at least. But then I started to think, well, that would probably be a nice thing to do here on this opening page. So basically I did a kind of where we are right now in life type of a paragraph there. So I just talked about kind of our general schedules, things that we do during most days and whatnot, kind of before you dive into like all of the bits and pieces of each day. So I really ended up liking that. And it took me a minute to figure out exactly what I wanted to do. So like I said, I printed off the journaling, cut it out into basically a square. And then I was debating off camera a little bit, but I decided to just put this kind of tag at the top and the bottom. So it almost looks like the journaling's on a tag, even though it's not. Then I just added a few stars and another one of those Vicki Boutin hearts. And I think it really turned out pretty cute. Then the last thing that I had decided I wanted to do as I was working on the album, I mentioned in the last video that I did have a bit of a blowout in like the spine. So just that's what ended up happening. The staples didn't end up holding it, and I had to add some washi tape onto Tuesday, but I don't think you can really tell. And then I think all of the precautions that I put in have worked, and the album is definitely not going to fall apart. But the only thing about it is that now some of the pages aren't the same size anymore. So originally, all of the pages were the same size as the album, just like the cover, just like it normally would be if you bought it. But after a couple of them kind of blew out from the spine, they're a little longer than the cover. And so what I decided to do is I'm using some of this pom-pom trim that I have, and I'm just adding a little pom-pom trim to the inside cover and the outside cover. And that way it kind of disguises that the pages aren't quite the same size. So it doesn't really bother me anyways, but I just thought that that would be an easy way to not really show off that mistake and add a little fun. I love adding pom-pom trim to these types of mini albums anyways. I just think it's really fun. So as you can see, I just added it with regular adhesive, and then I'm just going back over it with my tiny attacher, and it doesn't bother me that on the inside you can kind of see the kind of back side of the staple. I think that's fine. It's both of them are on the pom-pom trim, so it's not very noticeable or anything. And there you have it. So you'll see when you open it up, it's super cute. And then I'm just going to give you a quick kind of overview of these few pages. And like I said, there will be a full flip through next week. So I hope that y'all enjoyed this project. If you did, please give me a like, and please also consider subscribing. And I will talk to you guys super soon. Bye, y'all.